As president, I strongly protected Iowa's first in the nation status in the Republican Party.
And let me thank all the Iowa legislators who are here. You guys have been doing some great work.
I have been to Iowa. I think we've done over 25 events. I'm going to keep coming. I'm not doing shortcuts.
So that's just a sample of what we're seeing. 6 months away now from the Iowa caucus, first in the nation state, setting the tone for more than a dozen Republican hopefuls, all trying to appeal to voters, and we're now joined by two of them. Say hello to Pennie Carroll, a business owner in Des Moines, and Michael Demastus, a pastor in Des Moines. And welcome to both of you. Thanks for being a part of our program. Pennie, I'm going to start with you. Ladies first. I just heard a clip a moment ago from an Iowa voter who said they want to see these people between 4 and 7 times. That's a lot, but that's the way they do it. So far, how many have you seen?
This year, I haven't seen anyone, but tomorrow I'm having breakfast with, is it Perry Johnson that's going to be in town, or he's in town somewhere? So we'll be meeting with him for breakfast with about 100 other business people to hear what he has to say that's going to affect business owners in Iowa.
Got it. Pennie, who are you leaning toward today?
Oh, do I get to say a name?
Sure.
I would say probably DeSantis or maybe Trump.
Okay, as of today, there you are. Michael, you've seen
Yes,
Pence, DeSantis, Hutchinson, Ramaswamy, Scott, and Trump. Is that right? All of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Who impresses you?
Well, I'll tell you what, there are 3 candidates that are really doing their part to reach out to the evangelical vote in Iowa that I believe that are doing a good job doing that. One of them is Vivek Ramaswamy, believe it or not, who is turning the heads of a lot of evangelical voters. He's kind of speaking our love language, and he's doing some things that we want to hear. He did well at the Family Leaders Summit this past weekend. Another person, Senator Tim Scott, is doing great. He is actually doing the hard work of retail politics here in the state, looking people in the eye, shaking their hands, listening to voters, but in particular the evangelical voters, having meetings with pastors. But another person that I believe that is really, really playing well, that is Governor Ron DeSantis. And he is fantastic. And just as you heard Pennie say, there are a lot of people that really like what they see with him. And I think that a lot of evangelical voters do as well. And I would just add that Trump is not, the heir apparent for a lot of us here in Iowa. That's just the reality of the picture. We are really willing and listening to all of the candidates right now. It's what we want to do. Okay.
Let me come back to you in a moment here. Pennie, you say you quietly supported Donald Trump over the last few years. Is your support still there?
I like his track record that he says what he's going to do. He does what he says he's going to do. I don't like how he delivers on that sometimes and how he represents the American people in that. So I'd like to see what some of the other candidates have to say and if they align with my values and fear no man but God and help businessmen, especially the small business owners. I'm open to see what candidate will align with me.
Got it. So Pennie,
best.
your issues are religion and or faith, and also the economy based on your job, correct?
That would be correct. And then on a personal level, all lives matter, born or unborn. That's very important to me.
And Michael,
Amen.
What are your issues?
Well, I think for the evangelical voters here in Iowa, not that I represent them, but I say I know what's dear to a lot of them is the issue of life. It begins there. If you get it wrong on life, you get everything else wrong. So life, religious liberty is extremely important. The issue of marriage between one man and one woman, and the issue of pushing back against the crazy gender ideology that's being foisted upon children in our culture. And that's why Governor DeSantis's message is really resonating, because, man, it doesn't matter where you stand politically or ideologically. That just makes sense. Don't sexualize our children.
Last question to both of you. Just need a quick answer on this. Governor Kim Reynolds is very popular. She just signed the 6-week abortion ban in Iowa. There's been a bit of a dust-up between Donald Trump and Kim Reynolds, less so for Governor DeSantis. Pennie, does that matter to you?
I think it's just a political thing. I think he's trying to get attention. I think I think Donald Trump knows where to poke the bear, and it gets him in the spotlight again. I love Kim Reynolds. She's doing a fantastic job.
Last go. I saw her approval rating at 90%, so she matters in Iowa. To you, Michael, same question. Does her opinion matter to you?
Yeah, that was a misstep on Donald Trump's part. That's just, frankly, it's kind of dumb. I mean, Donald Trump should not be criticizing such a beloved governor. Reality.
Well, you're both thoughtful, and I appreciate your time. And maybe we'll see you. Maybe we'll see you in Des Moines in a few months. Okay, Pennie Carroll and Michael Demastus. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.